Trial of the century.
DMX versus the... I'm sorry. I thought you were... DMX versus the IRS. All right, let's start.
Beep. I once battled DMX, actually. He fucking spit bars all over me.
Sugar and toys, sugar and toys, sugar and toys, sugar and toys, sugar and toys.
We're here to talk about Sugar and Toys, episode 107.
107, verified, in which Kyle becomes verified on Instagram. His dream of verification comes true, but it comes at a cost.
Yes, yes.
Loses his homies and almost loses his soul. Well, I love what Kyle was even doing at the beginning of the episode where he was trying to act like it didn't matter and he was just saying it's all bullshit and then...
It's all superficial as soon as he got verified.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the devil thing, I mean, got our Nicole Sanchez who did some of the special makeup on our show, man. She just, when we wrote that thing, I mean, I was expecting like a white dude with like a red plastic cape. Like she brought a real blue Satan to our set.
Yeah.
Now that's not very verified now, is it, Kyle?
Fuck, you know my name.
Really?
Carl, you're verified, right?
Yeah.
What's that like?
It's awesome, man. It's like, you know, you get parties every day. There's all kind of gifts. No, I'm lying, man.
Okay, yeah, I thought we made that up.
It's no different, you know. I mean, to be honest, I really don't care about that shit. Like, it's really kind of stupid to me.
Can I have your check?
Hell no.
Okay.
I wouldn't give that up for the world.
Trial of the century.
DMX versus the IRS.
A guy who was supposed to play God in another show that we were doing.
Yeah, Laser Wolf. We had DMX actually playing God in Laser Wolf, and then he couldn't actually make it to the voice-over recording sessions because he got locked up for tax evasion.
That's true.
Which led to the sketch.
Exactly.
But we wanted to do a Smack DVD-style courtroom case with DMX battling the IRS agent.
Really not sure if all dogs go to heaven, but they'll go back to prison for that 1.7.
Just the idea of going back and forth where DMX is in character trying to plead his case in court.
Right.
And the IRS basically not having any of it.
I mean, you can't beat the IRS.
No.
In real life or in cartoons.
Or in a rap battle, actually. Turns out. Those motherfuckers got bars.
Got bars.
Yeah.
So we brought back another Yeah, Yeezy and Yeezus episode, which is really fun.
This is my favorite one. I mean, I love the first one we did, but this one I think is actually like my favorite of the Yeah, Yeezy and Yeezus.
Oh, really? Why? What?
In this one of the Yeezuses gets Freaky Friday'd by Taylor Swift.
I think we just really wanted a reason to have, like, Taylor Swift's voice coming out of Kanye's body.
All right now, repeat after me when I grab your buns. I love myself.
I mean, that's just really funny, and no matter what they're talking about, it just seems really weird and funny.
Right. If you could switch bodies with one of the Kanyes, which Kanye would you switch?
Definitely College Dropout.
College Dropout Kanye?
Yeah, definitely.
Why would you want to switch?
I think he used to rap back then. Spit It Through the Wire, Kanye.
Like with the wire, like in the hospital bed?
Still in the hospital. Like that's the Kanye I want to be.
Like still trying to figure out if you ever open his mouth again?
Exactly.
In episode 7, this is, you know, typically on a show, you set up a writer's room at the very beginning of a show. On this show, we actually did our writer's room at the halfway point of the show.
Yeah.
One of the funniest premises, actually, to come out of that room to me is the commercial on this week's episode, is on the sustainable blunt guts idea.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember Cam came up with that idea.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was smoking a blunt at the time, but I remember he just brought up the idea, like, what if all these blunt guts that everyone's wasting happen to be like the most valuable resource in the world?
Well, the concept that like even the conversation about marijuana has changed so much, where like when we were kids, or even just a few years ago, weed was considered this kind of evil thing, and now it almost feels like the conversation has like shifted like 180 degrees in the opposite direction, where now weed is like the savior for all else. You can't go to a fucking coffee shop without them trying to squirt some CBD in your cappuccino. Right. So for me, like what I really just glommed onto for that idea was just the idea that like taking that kind of concept of like weed being the save-all, like what if like blunts, which are like also like kind of like the grimiest way of smoking weed, adding tobacco and all this other shit, that the idea that somehow and then the blunt guts, which is literally the tobacco of the inside of a cigar for the 3 people in the audience that aren't high right now watching this. In the world we're in today, where I feel like a lot of like assumptions of the past are like being turned on their head, the kind of taking the piss out of both like the demonization of weed,
Yeah.
or the idea that weed is somehow going to be the savior of the world. Like both those notions, as someone that smoked a lot of weed for a long time,
Yeah.
I can tell you from my experience, it's definitely not the savior of the world. Don't know that it's a demon either, but
You're really good at like going back and pulling a lot of thoughtful shit out of sketches that we put really no thought into. It's amazing how you do that. Because I remember like when we was in the writer's room, it was like, yo, it would be funny if you could use blunt guts to fuel the world. Like, yeah, let's write it. But the shit you coming up with now, I really love that sketch after
well, you know,
hear you explain it. I didn't know it was that deep, but that's wonderful. Yeah, and another idea that we were playing with was kind of like the inconvenience of like just going to the grocery store, getting through the line without being like badgered to death by the cashier.
Incentives that nobody wants.
Yeah, yeah, and so we thought like how ridiculous like could we go with that concept? So we thought, let's see how they would make it almost unbearable to even rob the place.
Before you leave, do you mind taking a 5-minute survey? Did you find the robbery of our convenience store convenient?
Fuck no.
So Villain Therapy was actually, believe it or not, as I recall, it was actually originally a sketch that was in episode 102. It was actually in the second episode. But that was one that you threw out there. I know that you're like a giant sort of original cartoon head, so.
It was just like the silly idea of like taking all of these like arch nemesis or villains in the cartoon world and having them go to some type of anger management therapy. And it ends up going really bad.
Yeah. Kodak Black Panther.
That was one of the earlier ideas that we had.
101, that was actually out of episode 1 that got shifted.
Kept kind of moving it. But yeah, it really kind of started from just like playing with the word Kodak Black and Panther. And we were kind of thinking like, is there a Kodak Black Panther? Like,
but then you actually found that Insta story where he's like, where he admits that his jewelry is fake, basically.
Oh, right. That was.
Because that's like a direct lift. Like, there's an actual Kodak Black like Insta like live piece where he's like literally dancing. I think he's in a bathroom. Like we animated him where he's making fun of the fact that like people like women are hitting him up for money, and he's like, I just pretend I have money. This shit's all fake.
As Kodak Black Panther, he would, admit to the world that the vibranium is not real.
Yeah.
We just thought that was really silly and weird.
I can verify that was episode 107.
It was 107.
I thought there was gonna be like a blue puff of smoke to get us out of here. Did they not?
They don't got that kind of money, man. Blue puffs of smoke cost way too much. Fuck. I mean, you can walk your ass out, and that's free.
We're gonna walk our ass out of here right now, but thank you for watching, and we will see you next time on Behind the Bowl.
Pack a bowl. Get the water. Pack a bowl. Get the ice. Pack a bowl of cereal. Oh. Sugar and toys. 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 Sugar and toys.